Okay, it's Emily. I'm back again, and we have more Brahms today. Today we're going to read a piece called Wie Melodien, and it is one of the most popular art songs by Brahms. It's a really great piece. Um, yeah, no, that's all I'm going to say. I really love it. So let's go ahead and look through it. So again, time signature, tempo marking, key signature. Okay. We are in the key of C major. Our time signature is cut time, and our tempo marking is zart, sweetly, right? That's kind of a useless tempo marking, but that's okay. It really, at least for me, is all about the cut time. Sometimes I am accused of playing this piece a little bit too fast. Fine, whatever. But it has to have that forward motion of a big two, right? Da, 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 ba, da, da, da. If you can do that slower without losing the feel of the big two, then fine. Find the tempo that works for you and your collaborator, obviously. But I really feel strongly that there has to be that big, overarching, big phrase feeling to this piece. Also, this is one of the trixiest entrances for your singer. Notice they get a rest, right? So in performance, or if you're reading this with a singer in the room, I usually sniff, but there needs to be a real communication, right? As far as how I'm set up in my room, my singer is going to be right there. And I need to wait for them. I can see the beginning of their breath. Right. And then I breathe before I start so that we are all on the same page. It sounds super, super, super hoodoo voodoo, I know. But so much of music making is based on breath and on sigh and just how a human being breathes, right? I mean, how many words in how many languages use the word for soul or as a very similar or the same word as breath, right? So not all of us, all two of us really need to be on the same page before we start this piece, right? Okay, so Brahms. We have a lot of constant rhythmic motion in this piece. This piece does not stop. There's a lot of rhythmic offset. We're going to see that in a few bars, actually. And again, it's Brahms, so we're going to have some tonal complexity. So we really are upping the difficulty with this piece. If we skip ahead, we already have some accidentals, and in the vocal line too. This is not always easy for the singer. But notice we're already getting some interesting rhythmic between the hands. Right? So just, again, we're going to skim through this to see what's coming. I have more accidentals to look for. This rhythm is not as wonky as it looks. It really is just straight eighth notes the whole way. 1 and 2 and T and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3. Right. It's straight eighth notes, but it looks a little confusing. And here we get our first rhythmic offset. 2, 4, 2, 4, 1 and 2. Right. Yep. Sorry, I like this piece. That is, I want to make sure that I am very clear for my singer in where beats 2 and 4 are, because that often throws them off in our collaboration. And if I'm going to have to cut anything out, I think I'm going to cut out the moving notes, because they're going to want to hear the melody and they want to know that that rhythmic offset is there. Again, it's just a lot of accidentals through there. The page turn is not great in this score. Right, so I want to make sure I know where I'm going on that page turn. This is all the same until we get through here, right? Then we start to change. This is also worth knowing for your singer because they often get turned around here as far as the verses. This song is strophic until it's not. But wie nebelgrau erblasst es und schwindet wie ein Hauch. So right through there is where our tonality changes. Again, I have this offset rhythm that goes into this really cool bar. Like this is all stuff. This is one of the pieces that if I haven't skimmed through before I sight read it, I'm going to have a lot of things jump up and catch me off guard. But if I start in the bar of how, because I don't have measure notes again, and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, 2. I think I want the consistent eighth notes of the left hand to continue if I have to cut anything out. Yeah, and I could even, what am I doing? I could even just put down the left hand to quarter notes. But the consistent moving eighth notes, I think, are going to be more helpful to your singer than anything else in that bar. Looking ahead, this is not as scary as it looks, but I need to be aware of the A flats before we go back to C major. And this is all the same as the first verse. So it's that middle verse that gets a little wonky in the middle. But this is all, let's see. What am I doing? Eine verborgen wohl ein Duft, den Mehltau. That's all the same. Oh, page didn't turn. Sorry. There we go. Den Mehltau still am Keime. Until here. Beware of the accidentals. We're living in flatland until we go back to C major at the end, right? But also, this is your downbeat for the third bar, right? If I start at the top of the page, let's see, Mehltau still am Keime, ein feuchtes Auge ruft. There's no downbeat in your left hand, right? So no matter what, your right hand has to be what continues if you have to decompose something. But also, these two bars, for some reason, the only reason I can come up with is that there's no downbeat in your left hand. But your singer feels like they're surfing. And so you need to make sure that your eighth notes are really consistent, right? The next bar, like I said, we're going into lots of flats, and we have the same offset rhythm, except it goes all the way through there. So den Mehltau still am Keime, ein feuchtes, eine Feucht, and then you're home free. Auge ruft, and basic C major to the end, right? This is a really good piece. It's a very popular piece. Worth having under your fingers in the first place if you're going to be playing a lot of voice lessons. But mostly it's keeping the consistent rhythm, the consistent motion going of all those eighth notes, being aware of the offset rhythms, and being aware of any of the tonal changes and all the crunchy harmonies are going to be coming your way. I didn't set the click on this too fast, so I'm going to give you a little bit of wiggle room. I didn't go too fast. But otherwise, let's go ahead and read the piece and see what happens. Okay, so how'd it go? This is a big step up in difficulty, in that it just never stops. And trying to find that dream tempo of big, overarching, big tutu phrases, but also not rushing your singer, allowing the German to be as legato as possible. All of that comes down to singing while we play. And again, if your German is not great, really, truly, you can just... How often have I done that? I do that when things are too complicated to read the text and play the piece at the same time. Whatever I can do to feel the shape of that line that I'm going to be getting from a singer, right? So again, just like before, our next steps are to translate and to find an IPA and to sing as we play. This piece in particular, you are going to have the easiest time finding a tempo if you sing. Even if you don't play while you sing and you just sing the line Wie Melodien sieht es, you can find that tempo is in the vocal line. So again, sing. Sorry. I am not a great singer. I do everything down the octave, usually badly, but it helps me find a tempo, right? Again, if you need a PDF, any IPA or translations of this piece, you can find them at my website, which is www.emilywilliamspianist.com. And as always, don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will see you for our next piece.